what color tonight, I don't believe. Pretty good contrast. What are you looking for early tonight, Kevin, on both sides? What's everybody trying to establish first 10 minutes?
I think both of these teams are teams that like to keep the ball. You know, you're gonna have to find those moments where when you do win the ball, the transitional moments, is it better to counterattack right away, or is it better just to control the tempo of the game and keep the ball? I think the transitional moments will be big tonight.
Last time we were here 2 weeks ago, that's really how Clemson was able to dominate Duke. They kept possession for the vast majority of the game, and were just able to kind of wear Duke down and get good chances throughout the 90 minutes.
Yeah. Can't concede if you have the ball.
Trying to keep it in play, can't do it.
Enrique Montana nearly got to that ball from Sean Smart. You can see Sean Smart as that inverted right back will get forward, will cut inside. I think it's going to be an interesting tactical matchup. Qualk, you've got Clemson in what I would call a traditional 4-3-3, but Virginia Tech in that 5-3-2.
And Clemson going to get a throw now. Appears it's going to be, that is Enrique Montana, will throw it in for the Tigers. An early opportunity in scoring range. Low cross. Ooh. Tough play there. That's Adam Lundegaard coming together with the defender, and it's going to be a free kick for the Tigers. And it looks like Oliver Roche can't believe it. Let's look.
Yeah, the boot's just a little bit high. Lundegaard does drop his head, but not so much that it's going to be dangerous play on him. That's just a high boot. But in fairness to Roche, I don't think he saw Lundegaard coming there.
So an early free kick for the Tigers. This is where they've got options. Brandon Parrish standing over the ball. He and Nathan Richmond, talked about him in the open. Richmond runs past. Ball in, deflected, and right to the keeper, Timmy Adams.
I look like Jubei getting on that, just trying to knock that ball down, but
Jubei very effective in those situations, calm and composed. Hokies looking to possess here for a moment. Turnover. Ball through on the ground, beautiful. Richmond plays it back.
Good patience there from Clemson.
In the corner, nifty, couldn't quite get it. Jabay had an opportunity to craft a corner kick. Instead, it'll be a throw-in for the Tigers at midfield. A couple of dangerous balls in there. Virginia Tech, though, retreating well and organizing defensively.
That's good individual 1v1 defending there.
This is Montana. There's a look at him. Veteran. Come off the bench quite a bit for the Tigers this year, making his second start is Enrique.
I think that's one of the strengths of this Clemson team this year. They're pretty deep. You have players of Enrique Montana's quality able to come in for you.
Sean Smart, nice ball. Deflected and offside there. About everybody in the building knew that was coming.
Jackson Roble just caught there in an offside position.
Roble gets his fourth start. He's got a couple of goals and an assist. Transfer from Wofford. This is Adams, junior from Atlanta, 6'7" in goal for Virginia Tech. It's no wonder why this is a very good defensive team that's growing more confident with each passing match. Smart gets the angle and will force the goal kick.
Yeah, talking to Coach Brizendine, they opened the season with 2 losses back-to-back, 4-1 and 5-1. And since then, they've really clamped things down.
There's a look at Mike Brizendine. Again, that sub-500 record, don't look at that. 6 appearances in the big dance in 15 years, an Elite 8, and he's got this team playing very, very well.
Yeah, they've and this is a young team as well. You know, we talked about that. You have 3 freshmen in the starting 11 and 2 sophomores.
Yeah, the Hokies picked to finish last in the Coastal Division. Boy, they really flipped that on a dime. You're talking about some of the early results here. Like I said, they were outscored, what, 9-2 in their first 2 matches, and all they've done since then is draw North Carolina, win on the road at Louisville. You get a 1-goal win against Boston College, and now you're trying to bring that into a very difficult environment here tonight.
Yeah, I think any team, you tell them from their first 3 conference matches, they're going to walk away with 7 points. That's outstanding, particularly when you talk the quality of the ACC. But that win over a number 5 Louisville team, that's the one that stands out for me.
Battle there, won by Smart. Out of bounds there, a throw for the Hokies. Nice run there. Alex Meinhardt, and here's Mike Noonan. Well, look at that resume. Speaks for itself, doesn't it? National champion. They've continued to operate with consistency right at the top of the league, at the top of the nation, and, you know, maybe some injuries and some things keeping them from being able to put the pieces together, but you can see that puzzle taking shape right now in the way they've played the last 3 or so weeks.
Well, I think you end up running out of superlatives when you talk about the job that Mike has done here. And, you know, to me, you look at the 2 ACC conference titles, obviously the national championship, but he's got, I think, 6 appearances in the ACC championship game. I think that speaks to the level of consistency of the program at the highest level.
Well, and if you're a team like Virginia Tech, I mean, one of the things that makes this a really interesting and a really special night is you get to compete against a team that you like to become.
Yep.
Well, the way that Clemson has competed within the league, there's a right-footed boot that's wide. First shot of the day for Declan Quill.
Quill with just a nice little spin move there. He's looking for that top far corner.
Quill not afraid to shoot. He's got a goal. He's got 18 shots on the season. It's among the team leaders for the Hokies. Another thing to note about Virginia Tech, they won 3 games all last year. They've already matched that total. And as you said, it's the maturation of a young program, just trying to figure out how it all fits together.
And I always have thought that the preseason polls are interesting and can end up being a little fuel for some teams. And as you said, they were picked near the bottom of the league there. And of course, that is a coach's poll.
Nice cross, opportunity, and a whiff. And Dama. How about Joseph Andama?
I can't tell. Was that Hensley that had the last touch?
I believe it was Hensley. We'll take another look.
It's a terrific ball that's played across.
It was Roche. Oliver Roche got the shot.
And team was able to get down on that.
4 straight clean sheets for the Tigers here at historic Riggs Field, and Andama's a big reason why.
Well, you know, we talked about Roche being opportunistic and finding those moments. I would characterize that as kind of a half chance that fell favorably for him. He put that thing on frame with power, forced a terrific save from Andama.
Roche, a freshman from Denmark, wasting no time getting involved. That's his 8th shot on goal so far this year. He's put 3 in the back of the net. Here he is, has it taken away by Richmond. It gives it right back. Ball wide and over the head of the intended target. Noe Uimana.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect example of what do you do in those transitional moments. Now Clemson lost possession there, and Virginia Tech in that moment looked to counter immediately rather than just slowing the game down.
And Dama just a bit too heavy. Joran Jabay couldn't track it down. Grant Howard now on the back. Marco Vesterholm. Tigers really pressing the back line of Virginia Tech. That ball deep is blocked, and again the defensive pressure for Clemson is what you talked about. Just like both teams want to possess the ball, both teams going to be aggressive with that front line, you would imagine, trying to get it right back.
Yeah, and I think Clemson particularly will look for those moments where they can press and cause problems and not allow Clemson to build out of the back. And I think that right there is an example of why I would press more. Timmy Adams is going to pump that ball right down your throat, and all of a sudden you're dealing with a 50-50 ball in your defensive third if you let him play it out with his feet.
Hensley gets it out wide. William Cardona. Foot race. This is Quill. Defended well. Organized. Hensley gets it back. The defending from Brandon Parrish.
And you can see Mayola Canuna just constantly hunting the ball.
Adam Lundegaard with a super read there. That pass gets Clemson possession as Smart's got it. Anticipation. The captain, third-year defender from Maryland, and now a whistle. This will be a free kick coming for Clemson.
It looks like Isaiah Easley and Theo Drennan just got tangled up a little bit. I don't know how much was in that, but referee felt Easley was impeded on the turn. Just a little bit of contact.
Drennan, a sophomore from Richmond. 4 fouls already whistled against the Hokies, none so far for the Tigers. Ball goes across. This is Smart with a head of steam. Cross saved and parried away. Look at that.
Well, Kwok, we saw the very same scenario against Duke, but the difference was, remember, the Duke defender turned that ball into his own goal. Smart can penetrate that back line, get to the end line, whip a dangerous ball across.
That was well devised by Parrish, too. Seemed like he caught everybody off guard, and by the time Virginia Tech was able to adjust, Smart was already behind him. Giveaway there. This is Cardona.
Yeah, Parrish was just expecting Montana to get forward in that moment.
Played back, Grant Howard.
It's really well done by Roche.
Yeah, almost able to connect with Quill, and that'll be sent away. Here's a play from Smart.
Yeah, terrific little step over, and then just the explosive change of pace. That's really nicely done from Timmy Adams, though, isn't it?
You can't teach size. That 6'7" is legit. In the middle now, some space to operate. Uimana. One-on-one, Smart takes it away. Just a shrewd defender.
Yeah, he's just so quick.
Virginia Tech, though, pressing, and a whistle and a foul. Clemson able to keep it away from the pressure there, and now with a full possession. Roble in there.
Is that Feneritis there? And just a little foul.
And Dama with the reversal. Gibert. Ball forward. Isaiah Easley. It's out of bounds and a throw in for the Hokies.
That was Grant Howard did a really good job of reading that turn from Easley.
Lundegaard sends it away into the orange wall.
Yeah, you can't keep that one. Got to throw it back.
Good try, though. Ball goes all the way across. Uwimana. Whistle. There's the first foul of the game against the Tigers. Goes against Roble.
Yeah, Jackson Roble just a little late on the challenge there, but Kenyon is just clever, draws the contact.
Looking for Roche. There's a look at that foul stat. Virginia Tech's come out aggressive. Going to need some aggression here as the Tigers have flipped the field quickly. Brandon Parrish sent away. Good defending there. Howard again.
And Brandon Parrish there showing why he's so difficult there. Change of pace.
In the box, shot, save. Trigger that time by Isaiah Easley, but gobbled up by Timmy Adams. Looking for Uwimana. Smart gets it, but a foul. Free kick coming for the Hokies in the maroon.
Yeah, I initially thought that was pretty well read by Gibert.
Sergios Feneritis. Ball ends up at the foot of Roble. Here he comes. He's been in the middle of everything so far. Nathan Richmond. To the left side, Enrique Montana. Taken down, a whistle. And a dangerous spot for a Clemson free kick coming here.
Yeah, it looked like Cardona really went for the shoulder charge there. Montana pulled out. And just enough of a handful of a jersey to draw something. Oh, talking to Coach Bresendine, these are the moments where this was one of the keys to the game. They need to be really switched on and defending these set pieces. Clemson can be quite dangerous in these moments when players like Gibert and Lundegaard come forward.
Parrish will try to bend one in.
I think he's just going to whip this right on frame.
Low and sent out. No harm in that. And Dama's looking to get it forward in a hurry. And instead it'll be Virginia Tech with a countering opportunity. Vesterholm across. Nicely tracked down by Gael Gibert.
I think that was a good decision from Virginia Tech there to quickly counter. They broke and they briefly had numbers up situation. It looked like a 5-on-4 situation just to That penetrating pass didn't quite reach the mark.
So the first corner kick of the day for Virginia Tech. Vesterholm going out there. Uimana looks to be taking it. We'll see if he'll take it himself or if he'll enlist Vesterholm. Just off your screen to the right. And he will get Vesterholm involved. Coming forward is Feneritis. Now Virginia Tech will look to regroup. Clemson again pressing that back line. Looking for an opportunity.
Yeah, trying to make it difficult for Virginia Tech to build out.
Oh, a miss hit there. The gift for the Tigers. Redirect. This is Meinhard. Beautiful sliding tackle.
That's well defended there.
Was that Feneritis? I believe it was. I thought for sure Clemson would have a chance there.
Yeah, I thought initially that Meinhard was going to just whip that ball in, but try to penetrate the end line on the dribble. Really clever tackle.
This is Easley. Popped up. Smart. Let's see if Clemson can reverse it. Maybe get the ball in. That's what Montana's looking for. Instead, it'll be a goal kick. And for the first time, we'll see reserves come into the game. Marcos Esco, freshman from Costa Rica, and Andy Sullins, as Roche and Quill will take a seat.
It's always a dangerous prospect, right? You're playing in a 5-3-2, 3-5-2, morphing into the attack, but you change out your two front runners midway through the first half, and these guys have fresh legs. Certainly a challenge for Lundegaard and Gibet.
Sullins and Esco both have scored goals on the season. To your point, you're trying to get a fresh attack in. Well, we know how important those two guys that just came off are to the Hokies' attack.
Well, they get involved right away, don't they?
Yes, they do, and Ndama's there.
Yeah, they're nearly linked up right there.
Sullins tried to get it across. Quill. Excuse me, that's Easley. Gets it away, and that's Montana chasing, and it'll be a throw for the Hokies.
Well, that last possession there for Virginia Tech. Vesterholm, I think, was a little upset, thought the challenge came in late.
Parrish gets it into the middle. Nifty touch, Montana on the ground. Deflected, shot, blocked, and a corner kick for Clemson.
Cardona popping up again with the block there on Jackson Roble.
Here's another look. Roble's really been an aggressor. Right in the middle of the defense today. Off the bench, Usman Silla.
Now you talk about dealing with a fresh forward. I think that's one that most teams in the league or the country don't want to see Usman Silla coming in midway through the first half.
As dynamic as there is. High off the head. And a whistle.
I think he's calling a a push on Gilbert to free himself as he just backpedaled. Perhaps a little push to free himself. We'll have a look here. Yeah, you can see just a little bit of contact.
A little shove.
That call is always going to go to the team defending in that moment. Well, Qualk, you were talking about Jackson Roble, and having him as your 10, I like the way he's already tonight broken forward and penetrated that back line and gotten forward into the attack. That's what you want out of that player. It'll be interesting to see how well he can combine with Usman Silla.
Talked about Silla. 1 goal, 4 assists. He's somebody that can do it all, and he is a major spark plug for the team in orange. Forcing the issue there. Hokies feeling a little heat, able to get the ball out. Aggressive defending there, and Gilbert able to get it back to his keeper. Headed back again, that's Gilbert, last line of defense.
That's really well done with Esco breathing down his back, having the courage and the technical ability to find his goalkeeper in that situation.
Throw in. Enrique Montana put a lot of pressure on that left wing. A little heavy off the boot of Meinhard. Montana gets it back and just missed Silla. Really, neither team the last few minutes able to connect, really get anything into the attacking third in the middle. The attacks that have worked have been wide.
Yeah, they've had some success in wide areas.
Smart plays it forward. Here's a chance for Clemson out of the middle. Well placed, Smart. And a whistle. Gonna get a handball there.
That's unfortunate. It was a good tackle from Feneritis. It just pops up and catches Sean Smart right in the hand.
Really, it looked like Smart was gonna be able to evade him.
That's certainly not intentional, but he does gain an advantage. It falls right to his foot.
Here's Esco, right footer, scooped up. I tell you what, Joseph Andema continues to impress, especially in this venue here.
Well, that one wasn't nearly as impressive as the first save he made, but that's on frame. You need to deal with it, and you can see the closing pace of Sullins there. He needs to hold that. He can't give up a rebound.
Roble up ahead. Got the angle. Meinhard, and that is a corner kick.
I can see a little wrinkle here from Clemson after Usman Silla came on. Perhaps by design, perhaps in the run of play, but Richmond and Meinhard have switched sides, so you wonder if Coach Noonan identified something where he liked one of those matchups better.
Big moment for Parrish early. Sends it. As well defended in the middle. Clemson now able to keep it. Here's Silla. Left footer off the back of his defender. I believe that was Drennan that impeded the shot.
And those are the areas. If you're Clemson, you want Scylla popping up on the ball in and around the area.
And Dama comes out a long way to send it high.
Yeah, I don't think that was intended for Ndama. I think he was trying to pick out Gilbert there.
Foul, and it'll be against the Tigers. Kenua tried to get that ball back in play a little quicker than our head referee wanted. J.C. Rivero, head referee tonight. Clemson throw. If you're just joining us, these teams in a good back and forth, not a ton of action, but chances like this one. Scylla, touch for Richmond. Tigers lead.
Oh, that's a terrific ball, but everything in there is Sean Smart's ball to release Scylla and his individual talent to find Richmond in that moment. But what composure from Nathan Richmond on the finish.
We talked about him in the open, and he made us look smart. Speaking of smart, look at that ball that started it all.
And just like that, you know, that's that ability of Clemson to just turn the match on its head. I mean, really, Virginia Tech, I think, had the best two opportunities so far. And it just takes one.
That's Richmond's third goal of the year. That's going to be Scylla's 5th assist. We talked about his ability to do everything. You know, last year there were times where he was one of the big goal scorers for this team. This year he's been more of a distributor. 5 assists really shows his ability to do whatever his team needs at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, that's an outstanding substitution. Bring him on, it gives your team a different dimension, and that's why he's on the field for moments like that. But hey, we got a great production team when they say we think Nathan Richmond's who you cover in the open. The guy comes and gets the first goal, right? So shout out to the guys in the booth.
I just appreciate everyone watching to make sure. Those last scouting report adjustments.
There you go.
In the 31st minute. And now we'll see. Again, this is a Virginia Tech side that their last 6 is unbeaten. They followed up a couple of ugly defeats early in the season with 3 draws and then 3 one-goal wins. But they've been playing tied for a lot of that time. We'll see how they do from behind here.
And they're certainly a team that is going to stay in it until the final whistle.
A lot of space for Scylla. Here's Meinhard. Left, and a corner kick.
Well, again, it's Cardona who's able to cut out the cross. Well, talking to Coach Brizendine, you know, we talked a lot about just the atmosphere at Riggs. And it's a little bit different. It's a Friday night. There's an away football game, but still a solid crowd here. And this is a tough venue to play at when the crowd gets into the game. And what gets the crowd into the game here? Clemson goals.
Set pieces also tends to energize the bunch. Third corner of the night. Parrish has taken the other 2, and here's his third. Opportunity, ball's loose and picked up. Adams looking to start a counterattack.
Good awareness from Timmy Adams. That's the third corner they've looked for. Gilbert just drifting to that back post, and he's nearly gotten on the end of every one.
Well, he wasn't far from putting that one in right in the back of the net. And I really thought when it started, Virginia Tech had a good opportunity to get forward in a hurry, but Clemson, I mean, like a teleportation effort, able to get back very quickly.
Quickly got numbers behind the ball.
High and into the box, and Dama, a mishandle. That's well defended by Lundegaard and then offside. Well, that could have been a disaster for Clemson, but credit that whole back line for coming together and keeping a shot.
Yeah, look, this ball just carries awkwardly, and Dama misjudges it, quickly retreats. But watch the Clemson back line here, particularly Lundegaard. They step, put Esco in an offside position, nullifies the danger.
A whistle.
I think he called that on Grant Howard, but how do you call him? Nathan Richmond. Looked like just a competitive challenge for a 50-50 ball there.
They're going to check Richmond. Yeah, they're going to check Richmond. Maybe this is a potential concussion stoppage, perhaps.
I think they're bringing Richmond and Howard both off to have a look. Yeah, a little contact.
Both back on. Didn't take but a moment. Some space for Uwimana. See if he can get free. Ball in, deflected, and then Dama keeps the sheet clean.
Yeah, not sure if Sullen's got the slightest of touches there. Tough to tell, but it's a dangerous ball in there. All he's looking to do is just change the direction of that ball. I think he actually missed it. But again, Ndema holds.
Well, if he did get it, I think we're looking at a goal. I'm not sure what Ndema could have done there. That was well played. Uwimana, very impressive freshman from Austin, Texas. We talked about how young this team is. The youth does not look inexperienced by any stretch of the imagination out here tonight.
Yeah, Uwimana, you're talking about a player that gets forward from that left wide back position. 2 goals on the year, 3 assists.
Here's Maiola. Kenyua. Cross, headed, and Ndema's got it. Again, a fair bit of danger.
Well, Esco and Stellans have caused some problems back there for that Clemson back line.
Montana causing problems on the left wing. Silla double teamed, and it'll be a corner. One more look at that Virginia Tech chance here.
Yeah, I think Sullen's actually came in front of Esco there, didn't he?
Corner kick from Parrish. You said, Kevin, they've been looking for Gibert. See if they do it again. Short this time. And now a ball high. And flicked. And a whistle is going to give a free kick to the Hokies.
I think they called the foul on Gibert there. Sound like the referee was saying 27-27.
Another whistle in the midfield.
Yeah, I'll be surprised if that doesn't draw a yellow card because it was so blatant. That's dangerous. You don't expect anything, and
looks like both guys.
Was Ken Hewitt like bracing? Was he falling? He was trying to brace his fall, perhaps?
Perhaps, because it was an awkward looking play there.
Yeah, he kind of looked like he almost fell into the back there.
Virginia Tech going to bring a sub on. This is 20, Ethan Ballack, sophomore forward from Colorado, as Kenua comes off. Clemson sub in as well. It'll be Tyler Trimnell. His first action of the day. Roble comes off. Solid first half for Roble.
Yeah, I thought he was active, getting forward, trying to play between the lines.
Lundegaard, bit heavy off the left foot. Montana, though, gets it back. And a throw in. Clemson another scoring chance, up a goal. Trying to get greedy here just before the half. That back line of Virginia Tech, though. Stones the attack. Can the Hokies counter? This is Sullins. Now a regroup for Virginia Tech. Sullins has it taken away, dispossessed by Montana.
It's interesting. I think Virginia Tech wants to keep the ball when they win it in those transitional moments, but I think they're really effective with the counterattack. It's starting quickly, but the problem is if you lose the ball in those counterattacking situations, you're just so expansive. You're opening yourself up for a counterattack from Clemson. But they've looked dangerous in those moments when they've won the ball in midfield.
Down a goal, you'd kind of think that Virginia Tech might steer more into that as we get a little bit later in the action.
And you're always, if it's late in the game, potential system change. Do you go four at the back rather than the five? Do you change the shape a little bit, try to pump another player forward?
Offside flag up.
Yeah, I believe that was Esco, just a fraction offside there. You talked about how young this Virginia Tech team is, and you look at the substitutions they brought on: a freshman in Esco, a sophomore in Sullins, and a sophomore in Ballack.
Smart keeps it in, goes down, still fighting for it. And a foul is called finally there. Heck of an effort there against two defenders by Smart. At the end, he succumbed.
He just got tangled up a little bit. It's going to be the call for dangerous play there.
Drennan has it. Once again, Clemson really applying some pressure here.
Oh, Tyler Trimnell there, showing how quick he is.
Silla playing more in the midfield at the moment. Nifty, but he kept possession, and a foul is called. Thought Silla was going to be able to weasel his way out of there.
Yeah, just ball squirted away from him there. Last touch ended up being a tackle.
You see the look at the fouls. Early in the half, it was Virginia Tech drawing a lot of whistles. Now Clemson with one more foul against it than the Hokies.
Yeah, and knowing a Mike Noonan coach team, this is where they will really want to tighten up. Last few minutes here. Dealing with set pieces, you've done well to get the goal to go ahead. You want to lock it down and go into halftime with that lead rather than conceding here.
Hokies will send Finoritis to the corner.
Looks like this is going to be an in-swinger.
Second Hokie corner.
It's gone short.
Second time they've played it short. Finoritis low and sent away. Chance goes begging there for the Hokies.
And Endema just making Sellens come and get it. Try to chew up a little bit of the time off the clock.
Play a little advantage. Opportunity near side and kick save.
Big time save there.
Shot wide. Oh, Trimnell had the opportunity and it was followed well by Sullins.
Well, you saw the advantages play on and Trimnell gets in. You can't fault him for the effort. He tried to go near post, but Adams with a fantastic kick save.
Couldn't quite get the curvature he wanted on the rebound. And now Tigers going Mason Jimenez. Brendan Parrish steps off. Fifth appearance for the freshman Jimenez.
Yeah, that second opportunity I think came from Alex Meinhardt. He hit it hard enough, but he just didn't get it on, steer it on frame.
Flick off the head that time of Esco. Harmless.
Well, Kwok, what I thought for the first 20 minutes was a pretty benign match. The tempo's ramped up. Goals always change games. I think the Clemson goal has opened up the game a bit.
Esco up ahead and Dama gets it away. Boy, a dangerous line there for Andema. And look at Silla. Kicks it and not enough gas in the tank that time for Meinhard.
Oh my.
Boy, dangerous here. Take it away.
My.
Can Clemson get a chance? No one's in goal. Silla taken away there.
I think we're going to see a card once this play finishes here. It's a dangerous challenge from Adams. I'll tell you, both these goalkeepers in the last 2 minutes of play here have
everywhere but the box, right?
Done a little wild, right? Well, initially I thought that Ndema was going to get called for a handball out of the area, but he blocked that shot with his body.
Trimnall.
That's just good defending from Cardona, and I think here's going to come the card from
yep.
Adams.
And our referee's going to wait.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. I don't think it's any more than a yellow, but it certainly is a yellow. I think Adams is pleading the case because it feels like it happened 30 minutes ago.
That was a long time to play advantage. Can't argue with the decision to play it that way, though. Here's a look at it.
Yeah, it's just the closing speed of Trimble there. Look, he wins the challenge fair and square. Adams feels he doesn't have a choice. He's just late.
To be fair, 6'7" takes a long time to unwind.
That's true. It's like a coiled spring.
Ball forward and the offside flag up there. Esco, I think, realized a half second too late where he was.
Yeah, that was close, and good awareness from Enrique Montana. Good body shape looking across the field. He's just able to take a quick little step and put Esco in an offside position.
Whistle will be the final one of the first half. One goal the story here, the first 45 minutes. Nathan Richmond from Usman Silla. And the 4 top 5 in 2 years. It's got to be hard to keep the cupboard stocked, but he's able to do it not just with talent, Kevin, but with leadership, with different pieces that fit actually, rather than having to plug holes. I mean, it's really impressive that he's been able to continue that run of success.
Well, and it's you lose a player of someone like Philip Mayaka's quality, and then you're able to find another little gem like Usman Silla. That helps, right? Just the identification is the first part, and then the recruitment, the commitment, and then the development.
Second half underway. For Virginia Tech, Kevin, talked a little bit about their opportunities to kind of strike quickly. What do you want to see from them in the second half to try to square the score?
Yeah, I think whenever you're chasing a game, and certainly with 44 minutes left to play, there's a lot of soccer to be played. But I think whenever you're chasing a game, you're gonna have to be the team that takes the risk and be the aggressor in some situations. And I think that's throwing extra numbers forward. If you throw both of your outside backs forward when you get forward and you leave 3 at the back, you're going to have to try to create some moments where you have numerical advantage and you can get your team forward and take chances in the final third.
Foul whistled against Theo Drennan. He couldn't believe it. Alex Meinhardt very wisely able to turn his body and draw the foul. And now another set piece for the team in orange. Off the head and scooped up there right at the mouth of the goal by Timmy Adams.
Yeah, really well won header by Trimlow. I was surprised he was able to knock that down so cleanly, and he nearly picked out Silla.
Timmy Adams, a young player in net. ACC Defensive Player of the Week. 4 saves against Louisville got him that honor just a couple weeks ago. Well deserved. Another good keeper punches it out.
Yeah, I think that's a good decision from Andema there. He knows it's going to be difficult to hold in traffic. Comes with the punch.
You could tell the instinctual nature of Andema's game last year as a young freshman, still very raw, but they kind of just let him play. You can tell he's starting to get a little more heady, a little more sure of himself, a little more composed at times, and you just see him round into the type of player he can become.
Yeah, and he still has those moments, those little cardiac moments where he ventures out of the penalty area occasionally. But yeah, I think instinctual is the best description there.
Foul call, a little love tap in the back there. Feneritis, whistle for it.
I think the contact was minimal and he was questioning it. It's fair.
This is kind of how the first half started. Virginia Tech came out aggressive, drew some fouls, and kind of settled into play after about 5 or 6 minutes. Flick off the head, a throw for Richmond. Gets it forward. Tremnell able to force a corner kick.
Yeah, I like the decision there. He just tries to cut inside immediately. Worst case scenario, you draw a corner kick. Dangerous opportunity with Richmond here. You want it to be a dangerous in-swinger, but you want to keep it away from the big frame of Adams at the same time.
Off the head and a goal kick.
Dennis Gibert again. He finds himself free at the back post.
Clemson relentlessly trying to get the ball at his head, and they've succeeded a couple of times, just haven't been able to get it quite put together. Throw in here. Cardona. Cardona's been impactful out of the midfield today. Native of Rock Hill, South Carolina, playing in his home state.
Yeah, I think he's been good when he's put in those 1v1 situations. He's cut out some things. Oh, fell favorably for him, didn't it?
Sure did. Contact, no whistle. It'll be a goal kick. Marco Vesterholm thought he had an angle there. Smart closed it down.
Yeah, look, it's just shoulder-to-shoulder challenge there. It doesn't, it was very close to being in the shoulder blade, but I think it was close enough. I think you can always judge that by the reaction of the coach. You know, Coach Brizendine is not off his bench, so most likely was not a lot in it.
And a whistle there. And I'm sure Vesterholm's going, could have used that a moment ago.
There you go.
Left footer high and forward. Sent away. Haven't heard from Roche in a while. He's been quiet.
Yeah, I think he was a little confused there. He didn't quite see where the ball went. He perhaps could have pounced on that sooner. Gibert didn't get as much of it as he wanted.
Here's Trimnell.
This is where Clemson can be dangerous in these counterattacking moments.
3 on 4, now 5 defenders. Looking for reinforcements, they'll wait.
It's good discipline. They're quickly able to get into Virginia Tech's final third, but once there, if it's not on, they're content to possess. A little miscommunication there from Trimnell and Silla.
Tigers keeping the pressure on. Ball 1 out there by Howard. Kenua.
Kenua doing a great job just sitting in there as the 6, able to link up play.
That one wide. And a goal kick for the Tigers.
Feneritis just cutting in and having a go. They saw a little gap.
Silla to Smart. This is Richmond. It's the inside shoulder. Silla hits the gas, cross, and deflected.
I think that was dangerously close to finding the foot of Tyler Trimnell. He's cut out well from the Virginia Tech defense, though. I think we're going to see a caution here for just kicking the ball away. Not sure who that was on. Was that on Enrique Montana?
I think it was, the first effort was Lundegaard. That was what got Quill all in a tizzy. And then, I'm not sure Montana help matters. Cardona down the sideline, keeps it in play. That's well placed. Quill back to Cardona. Quill in the middle, opportunity, and Dama's there. And Dama, a bit of a showman.
Yeah, not sure if referee's going to have a little word with Roosh there. There was no foul, but he certainly did slow down Ndama's ability to spring a counterattack. But going back to that last play, Qualk, I don't think you can give Quill that much time moving forward. He was able to cut inside and had a pretty good look at goal, forcing the save there.
He had 4 or 5 defenders around him, but you felt like he was in control of the situation, right?
Yeah, you need to put that ball under pressure and make a player like that play negative rather than giving an easy opportunity on goal. What a touch from Sean Smart.
Here he goes. Smart, the Energizer Bunny, taken down. Ball ends up in Richmond's hands, and it'll be a throw for the Hokies.
That's not a bad idea for a back heel from Richmond there. He just lost his bearings a little bit and put it out of bounds.
Vesterholm. Fenaritis able to get it to the wing. Uwimana gets it back. Gonna play it in. Will high and headed out. The rebound. Quill defended well by Lundegaard. Richmond has it. Nobody home.
I think Silla was looking for the foul there. That's a good tackle.
Good tackle. Solid play defensively. Bit of desperation from the Hokies here. Early in the second half. Left foot cross, and the shot's high. Well wide.
Surprised he wasn't offsides there.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Good defending. Richmond up the sideline. Couldn't keep it in.
Well, I think this game, the last few minutes, has gotten a little too chaotic for Coach Noonan's taste. I'd like to see Clemson get a hold of the ball and just slow the tempo down again.
Ball in the air. Who gets it? Nicely done by Uwimana.
Yeah, really well done there. Keeping the play alive.
Kinyua. Up high, off the head, and sent away. Richmond goes down, and a foul. Vesterholm draws the whistle.
He's frustrated there. I think if it were any more egregious, he'd be looking at a yellow for stopping the counterattack, but he's legitimately challenging the ball.
That's an opportunity for Clemson to do what you said, Kevin. Maybe possess the ball a little bit as things have calmed down for the moment. But the Hokies pressing, and boy, a dangerous ball played back there.
Yeah, it's good pressing from Virginia Tech to cause that moment.
Talked about the Hokies very comfortable in this setting. 3 consecutive 1-goal wins that followed 3 draws.
Yeah, they will certainly battle. And that's really what league play is about. It's about, in those moments of adversity, can you hang in there and grind out something, even if it's only a point on the road.
This will be a throw in for Virginia Tech, and Parrish looking for a whistle.
Yeah, this is where it's so important for your team to remain calm in the eye of the storm. For Clemson, you're in the driver's seat. You have a lead in the second half. It's important to keep your composure.
Meinhardt to Richmond. Richmond goes to the line. Silla looking to turn. Good defending. Has to play it back.
Yeah, as good as that was from Silla, you have to applaud the Virginia Tech defense there for remaining composed and moving their feet to defend.
Fenaritis looking to draw a foul there. Went down in a heap. Didn't get the call, popped up. Corner kick now for Richmond. Assistance from Parrish over in the corner. This is 6 corner kicks for Clemson today. So far, the other 5 have failed to bear fruit.
Yeah, they've kind of knocked at the door for that back post service. They go near post this time.
Smart gets it high and forward, and now Richmond plays it down. Good defending in the box. Ooh. Oh boy, that was close. And a whistle. Foul on Richmond.
Well, you initially thought Kent Ewell was going to be whistled for a handball. Have a look here. There's some good contact, good defending as he goes down. Ooh. He must have called the foul first on Richmond as Kent Ewell was turning and defending, because it was well defended, but
could have been, though. You got to say the locals maybe have a point there.
Yep.
But as you said, the foul likely whistled beforehand. Here's Trimnell. Got an opening and saved. Adams keeps it a 1-goal game as Trimnell had a great opportunity.
Yeah, and his athleticism just causes so many problems. He gets free there. Adams comes up big, but you can see the look of distress from Alex Meinhard and Usman Silla. They were both just begging for the ball. Have a look here. He elects to shoot, but look at the position of Silla, and Meinhard's lurking at the back post.
Drennan thinks he's got this played well and can't figure out how Trimnell's passed him.
Yeah, look at Meinhard just begging for it.
Couple of substitutions here. Clemson gonna run Meinhard off. Esco and Sullins back in for Quill and Roche. Corner short and headed away. Smart plays it down. Shot high and wide off the right. Titus Sandy is in the game, by the way, for Clemson. Meinhard goes out.
Well, Paul, it feels like, you know, we talked about this when we called the Duke game. The game is in the balance. You're up 1 lead. You're seemingly in control. You really want to seize the opportunity and get that insurance goal so you can put this game away. Could just be an individual moment of brilliance from Virginia Tech, and this thing's knotted 1-1. So you want to convert one of these opportunities.
Richmond tried to split the pair, and it's taken away. Ball played forward. This is the fresh legs of Esco. Picked up by Sandy.
Oh, you need to track Sullins at the back post there.
Ball in. Turn. Miche Yoshizawa had the ball right there at the top of the box. Foul called, and it'll be a free kick for the Tigers.
Yeah, I think Sullins is going to have a word here from the referee as Sean Smart went to win that header. There was some contact.
Here's a look at Joseph Andema. This is some of the brilliance we've seen from him tonight. He's kept his sheet clean, and he's done it in a variety of ways.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is when he's elected to punch, he's done well to punch, and when he's elected to hold or parry away, he's made good decisions in those moments. Sitting on a clean sheet so far.
Already matched his season high with 6 saves tonight. Still got 27 minutes and change to play. Back and forth, and a foul is whistled against the Tigers. That's Enrique Montana. He thought he got fouled before that, and he draws a whistle himself.
You can see Kenua just hunting the ball, trying to be an option so Virginia Tech can break that first line of pressure.
Yoshizawa.
It's a good step there from Lundegaard.
And now he starts the break for the Tigers. Here's Richmond on the right. Plays it back and saved. What a shot by Nathan Richmond, and an even better denial by Adams.
Yeah, and I love the decision there from Nathan Richmond. You just want to be unpredictable. He's driven to the end line before. This time he sets him up, and he's just going to cut inside. I think that was destined for that far side netting if Adams doesn't get his hand to it.
And a strong left foot, too, from Richmond, even though you could tell he was a little bit overextended, couldn't get a full swing on it.
Yeah, and that opportunity was a carbon copy, I think, of I think he scored one of either the Gardner-Webb or the Presbyterian game just like that.
Montana shot deflected. Throw for Virginia Tech. Tell you what, both of these goalkeepers have done really a sensational job today.
Yeah, man, they've both come up with 2 or 3 outstanding saves, haven't they?
Sure have. Coming up quickly, a takeaway. Trimnell, Silla, Richmond just wide.
Well, that's the second or third time tonight. Then the quickness of Tyler Trimnell has caught this Virginia Tech team by surprise. Look how quickly he closes. It's a clean tackle. And he does well to find Silla there. It falls for Richmond. Actually, when he hit that, I thought it was going to go off the post.
Poor Theo Drennan. He almost allowed the goal when Trimnell went by him, and then right there he got put in a blender. Brilliant sliding tackle. Forces a corner kick for the Hokies as Virginia Tech looking to come the other way. That's Jabert again.
I tell you, Esco has been a problem, hasn't he, for this Clemson back line? He's been extremely active.
They've got something going with a little bit of the line change there up front.
I mean, all these forwards are powerful. They will work.
Low cross, headed away, Jabert. Silla can't beat Kenua to the ball. You know, to the point you're making about those forwards, 8 shots, 6 shots on goal for the Hokies today. 3 of those shots on goal from Esco and Sullins.
Guys that have come in. Something to be said for let the starters wear you down a little bit and then bring these guys on.
So far, they've not been able to come up with the equalizer. 31st minute of action. Nathan Richmond from Usman Silla, the only goal thus far.
I think certainly if you're with Clemson, you've felt like you've created 3 or 4 other quality opportunities. You want that second goal.
Mike Noonan, you know, stressful moments, as you say, a 1-goal advantage against this Virginia Tech team. You don't feel great. 2 goals might be a different story. Smart getting the tug on the back of the jersey, and now a foul, and this is going to draw a card. Yes, indeed.
Uemana's certainly going to go in the book. That's just too much of the jersey pull there. You know, which I think is really dangerous. There's still nearly 23 minutes left to play. As a wide defender, you don't want to sit on a yellow card. You know, because if you do get yourself in trouble and you do have to put in a late challenge later in the game, you could be looking at forcing your team to play down a man.
Misei Yoshizawa, ball forward.
It's Esco again, isn't it?
Good defending there by Titus Sandy Jr. Ball in, Andema denies.
Oh my word, what a save from Andema. And again, it's Esco getting on the end of it. He heads it down, he does everything right, but how quick does Andema get down to parry that away? Again with the parry away and not the catch.
I don't know how this in the goal. Just superb.
Yeah, and the decision making too in the moment. The technical ability is one thing, but the decision, I'm gonna have to put this away because I can't cough it up.
Coming into this match tonight, well, we'll save it because the Tigers have an opportunity. Silla lost it, deflected, and a great job. Great effort by the Hokies. Relentless getting back and just halting the attack for a moment.
Yeah, and that was just a good counterattack from Clemson. Gilbert read the moment, pumps it forward to Easley. Easley sees the pressure coming, puts Silla in behind.
Up the left side. Opportunity again thwarted as Uwimana probed. Ball in, settled, shot, we're tied. Off the bench, Yoshizawa.
Incredible first touch. He takes that on his chest. Just, you felt like it was gonna have to be something special to beat Andema tonight. And the quality in that goal is just outstanding.
That's the first goal of the season for Michie Yoshizawa, sophomore from Tokyo. Look at the ball in here from Kenyua.
That's so hard to take from that angle and to keep that ball down, but he gets over it and just smashes it on frame. Point blank.
Said in the open, Clemson was riding a 4 consecutive shutout streak. Gave up a goal around the 50-minute mark of their second home match of the season against UNCW. That ended in a 1-1 draw. Coming in 400 consecutive minutes of shutout soccer and 70 more for Andema. That's the first goal surrendered in 470 minutes here at historic Riggs Field by the Tigers.
Well, it was quite special too, wasn't it, Kwok? Really well taken.
It appears, and we didn't notice it from where we are, Virginia Tech bench, I believe, just got a yellow card. One of the assistants trying to track down exactly what for. Give you some more information on that. You saw the conversation happening with the head referee and the staff over there.
Yeah, I'm trying to piece together what that could be about. I didn't think there was a situation where there was much to argue about.
Did appear to be an assistant there. And now Virginia Tech not content to sit at 1-1. Flick. And that is a foul. Yep, that's a whistle. It'll be a free kick. That's like a handball there.
It looks like it just sprung up inadvertently.
Ethan Ballack. There's a look. Titus Sandy. And here's Smart. All right, so we're being told now the yellow card was for coming onto the field to celebrate the equalizer.
Yeah, as excited as you are as a member of the coaching staff, you have to restrain yourself in that moment.
This is Parrish. Silla, flick, pass, deflected.
Danger not over here.
Looking for Smart and a foul. Oh, that is a sloppy, sloppy play after some brilliant defending by the Hokies to give up a free kick there.
Yeah, there's just no need to. I've always felt like whenever the player was going away from goal, it's just unnecessary.
That's Yoshizawa who scored the tying goal. And now Parrish from about 20 yards away with a chance to put Clemson back on top. What are you thinking here, Kevin?
Well, you think it's going to be some type of whipped ball. I think you got to cut the wall out. I'd honestly just try to put it on frame, force a save from Adams, jump on the rebound.
Parrish does that, headed away. Flick back, he's got another chance to start something.
Yeah, second phase here is always dangerous. Oh my.
In front of the goal, stumble. Nobody could get a foot on it, and it's cleared away.
Terminal's appealing for a handball. I don't know how much is in that, but just you have to put a foot on that, and it's not going to be a clean chance there.
I'm not saying Clemson won't find a goal, but that was a great chance to get one right there. Smart draws a deflection and another corner kick. Here's another look at it.
Which fell just for. I don't think that's a handball. I think it's a right decision from the referee.
Once again, right in the middle of it, that's Drennan. Kind of just gave his body up there.
Yeah. And you could see Parrish was just trying to get out of the way for Trimnell.
Parrish across, well struck, and headed away again. 9 corners, and Clemson is yet to crack. This is Yoshizawa. Left footer. He's got Sullins up ahead, and Dama sprawling to get it. Less than 16 minutes to play.
This game has really opened up in the last 20 minutes or so. You'd have to say it's entertaining for the neutral, nerve-wracking for the Clemson fans and the Virginia Tech fans.
Here's Cardona. And in Virginia Tech, perfectly content to play this way. Still kind of playing 5 in the back. Yeah. Able to swing the ball side to side and try to get what they want. That wasn't it.
Yeah, I think they'll pick and choose those moments where those wing backs can get forward.
Stolen. Great anticipation by Kenyua.
And that's what he does so well, is able to break up some of those counterattacks.
Shot deflected by Andama again.
Yeah, I'm not so sure that was on frame there, but Andama takes no chances.
Boy, how about the work rate of Kenyua in the midfield?
Yeah, I think he's actually ratcheted it up a notch here in the second half, hasn't he?
Yeah, he looks to be getting stronger as everybody else running on fumes a bit.
Yeah.
Hokies with reinforcements at the table. They've got 3 ready to come in. Well, Tigers have 1.
Qualk, you know, Kenyans are notoriously endurance athletes.
That's
right?
correct. Good pull right there. out of bounds, and again, we've got reinforcements coming in. Here's another look at the save by Ndema.
Yeah, does well to get down for that.
You've got Quill, Roche, and Hensley all coming back. Esco gonna come out. Sullins, what a job they both did. Parrish also coming off for Clemson.
Yeah, I think you're getting your first look at Elton Chifamba here in midfield for Clemson, and Nathan Richmond coming back on.
Kenyua also going to come off for Virginia Tech. So 2 starters and a reserve in for the Hokies. 1 of each for the Tigers. And Chifamba, I want to talk about an energy player off the bench.
Yeah, he'll give you a little spark, and I'm not convinced that Brandon Parrish's night isn't over. He's a player that's pretty versatile. He could come and take a position along that front line. His pace and ability to score. Like I said, I'm not sure his night's done.
Pass in the box. Clemson regrouping now. Smart gives it back to Richmond. Now Silla playing wide. Excuse me, that's Chifamba playing wide. Played it back toward him and a bit too wide. Sandy aggressively tracking Quill. And a foul.
Quill did well with his back to goal to keep possession. Eventually drew a foul.
Sandy plays it ahead. Richmond.
Chifamba breaking the line with the run off the ball there.
So we talked about, you've got to be careful with Chifamba in the attacking third. Smart gives it to Chifamba. They've got 2 around him and a throw for the Tigers. Sean Smart will take it right in front of his bench. Pressure by Roche. Lundegaard gets it off. Silla. Pretty good defending right there by Virginia Tech. Tigers able to get it in the box though. Richmond unable to get the step. Tries anyway. The ball's deflected and another corner kick from the Tigers.
Yeah, just as soon as you thought Richmond was in jail, he's able to salvage something for it. Earns a corner. It's like he's giving Uwimana a little stretch there.
You'd like to see that. We've had several moments of mutual respect from these 2 clubs. You know, a lot of Montverde Academy players on both rosters, a lot of familiarity. You can tell the way these 2 teams have come together and battled.
Yep.
There's a look at Nathan Richmond. His goal gave Clemson the lead in the first half. Looking to maybe be a distributor to lead to the second. Cross. And sent away. And Ndema's got it, and away it goes. And now the Hokies will look to possess. Tigers retreat for the moment.
And you can just see the forward runs there from Virginia Tech threatening that back line. The seam wasn't on, so they're content to reset it and possess it.
Finoritis.
Clemson doing a good job of staying compact and making those entry passes like that difficult to find.
This is Cardona.
It's a good step from Sean Smart.
Ballack has it taken away by Smart. Ball forward and again knocked away. And here comes Smart with it. This front line can go. Chifamba up forward. Who's going to get there first? It's the Hokies in defense. Good effort by Drennan to get back.
You could see the pace there from Drennan. He was just closing on Meinhardt. It's a good tackle.
Meinhardt, you could tell, working hard to get there. Leaving everything he's got on the pitch tonight. Under 10 minutes left.
Yeah, I think this is the sub we're going to see.
Richmond.
I think Meinhardt's just looking like he's almost out of gas, and I think we're going to see Brandon Parrish come back in. I would be surprised if that's not the substitution that they make.
A couple of Hokies as well getting ready. Goal kick for Virginia Tech. Adams sends it off to Drennan, who will take it. Sandy knocked away and possessed by Yoshizawa.
He was just trying to pick out Chifamba there.
Uemana across, and Sandy delivers a deflection, and Virginia Tech will have a corner kick after the substitutions.
Uemana's still down. I think he's still cramping. I think he's going to be coming off here.
Parrish in for Chifamba. Kenua and Vesterholm back for Virginia Tech. Ballack steps off.
Uemana's cramping badly there down in the corner.
Yoshizawa also coming off. You said Parrish's night might not be done. The same true of Kenua and Vesterholm for the closing stretch here.
And Parrish actually comes on for Chifamba, as you said. I thought surely he'd be coming on for Meinhardt, but
Uemana high and sent away. That's Sandy.
yeah, well done from Titus Sandy there. He's been involved in the last couple of defensive plays for Clemson.
Silla dances the line. And a throw. We mentioned Virginia Tech tied atop the Coastal Division with 7 points. Looking for one. Clemson with 3 points will put itself in second place in the Atlantic Division. Things can change that quickly in ACC play because of some of the results elsewhere tonight.
Yeah, that's right. And I think you have the feeling that neither one of these teams is playing for a point, right?
That's exactly right. I think the way this is going, I feel confident saying there will be one more outstanding chance.
Yeah, it feels the game is just too open. Both teams are willing to take some risks here.
It's just a matter of who takes the chance and will it be converted. Will it be the Hokies here? Sandy says no.
Yeah, Titus Sandy has really come in and put in a good shift for Clemson. That's a good decision by Brandon Parrish. Nice turn. Oh, excuse me, that's Meinhardt.
Meinhardt, long run and just too heavy. And you talked about it. He just looks like he is absolutely wringing it out on the field right now.
And I think we may see that change coming here. I thought it was going to be Parrish. I think it's going to be Tyler Trimnell ultimately.
And it will be Trimnell for Meinhardt. Well, what an effort by Meinhardt in the middle of a lot tonight, and you could tell.
I think that's a good substitution for Clemson. You talked about just as Chafamba came in, he's a little bit of a energizer bunny in there. Trimble along that front line. His quickness has created a couple of quality opportunities for Clemson. Just kind of catching either Adams or someone on that Virginia Tech back line off guard by how quickly he can close space and win a tackle.
Can the Tigers convert here? They've got options with Silla. Moving forward. Cross low, and from his knees, Adams grabs it.
Yeah, not sure if Grant Howard got a piece of that, take a little sting out of it. The ball just kind of fell favorably for Adams.
Oh, a whistle and a foul called. That was a tough tumble that Joran Jabay took there.
Rush just a little late on the challenge there. Oh my.
Keeps it in. Didn't have a teammate in the area. Again, that was Trimble causing problems.
Yeah, just that quickness, right?
Nice flick forward. That was well done there by Quill. And the Hokies will get possession as a result.
Yeah, Brandon Parrish looking for a call there.
Mike Noonan may have been looking for it too. He was hot after that. Vesterholm forward, found a teammate. Again, Quill able to keep it in. Cardona, the Rock Hill native. Over to Quill, going to work. Vesterholm sends it wide. Cardona. Montana, the deflection, and a corner kick for Virginia Tech. Here's a look at our scoring summary, how we got here. 31st minute, Kevin, a beautiful connection for the Tigers' first goal.
Usman Silla's able to find Nate Richmond. He calmly puts that away for the lead in the first half.
Fast forward to the 70th minute, Virginia Tech answers with a fantastic 1-2.
Yeah, look at the first touch off the chest and gets his body over it to put on the half volley.
Misei Yoshizawa squared the score, his first of the year. And now with 3:50 and counting to play, Virginia Tech. That's headed out. I believe a corner coming. It will be a corner for the Hokies. Boy, every ball so well contested. Almost no square hits anywhere from an attacking team on a set piece.
Yeah, and Enrique Montana gets the last touch on that, and it's a good thing he did because I think it was going to find the head of a Virginia Tech attacker.
This looks to be Uwimana. And a conversation happening in the box. No clock stoppage. Okay, so now we're going to have a bit of a clock adjustment. They are going to put some time back on the clock. The effort was made to stop the clock, but now they're going to put some back, and I think the Hokies a little perturbed about the delay here. 35 seconds back on the clock, 3:32. It'll start on the boot. Good ball, and it was Andema who got it away, and a foul whistled against Virginia Tech. I believe that was Esco in front of the goal.
That was certainly Esco, but how about Andema having the wherewithal to still get a big hand to it and push that ball away?
Now can the Tigers execute? They led for roughly half this match. They have not trailed. Parrish, ball up ahead. Trimble couldn't control it.
That nearly found its way to Usman Silla, didn't it?
Again in the danger zone. Now Virginia Tech with an opportunity. And Dama way out. And it will be a goal kick. Again, dangerous decision by Joseph Andama, but it pays off.
Esco's a little disbelief there, thought was something. Certainly looked like there was contact.
Andama, big leg. Richmond goes down, a foul. Could be big. 2 minutes left to play and a yellow card. Kenua not a fan. That's the third yellow card issued to the Hokies. And you wonder if that wasn't as much for the protest as the action there.
Yeah, certainly.
Virginia Tech staff didn't love that card. Certainly, potentially pivotal moment. Parrish up ahead, knocked down, and that's going to be a free kick for Virginia Tech.
Yeah, Gibet and Trimmer both found themselves on the ground there looking for something, but it's going to have to be really, really clear cut for the official to call a penalty here.
Up ahead, Uwimana. Couldn't find his teammate, Sullins. Richmond, can he get it to his foot? He's got a chance here. A minute to go. Maybe the final chance for the Tigers. It's Smart with a flick. Onside, Parrish in front of the goal and sent away. Hokies won it offside, didn't get it, and it almost cost them.
Still danger here with Silla on the ball.
Silla. 40 seconds, Richmond. Smart. Can he get the baseline? No, but it'll be a corner. And here's the Tigers' chance. 2 points potentially on the line. Crowd comes to his feet here at historic Riggs Field. Richmond ready. Ball is in, headed away, the rebound, deflected and in! The Tigers take the lead with 5 seconds remaining.
What a strike from Usman Silla. It just falls for him at the back post. The ability and the courage to hit the ball with your first touch in that moment, and there's enough contact. It looks like it takes the slightest of deflections, but have a look here, Kwok. Oh my.
Right off the head of a defender.
Yeah, and I think that's
unbelievable.
We'll have to see how that's recorded in the stat book. That may go down as an own goal, but Silla nonetheless, the bravery to just hit that when the game is on the line with 5 seconds, and certainly you can feel the heartbreak for Virginia Tech with 5 seconds left. It's never over until it's over, but I think we're close.
The Tigers struck first, and it appears they have struck last. 5 seconds on the clock. Again, still waiting on that official ruling, but regardless, as you said, a courageous play.
Well, you feel bad for Virginia Tech as if you're a neutral, just because they fought so valiantly to get back in the game. They found a goal, but really on the night, the number of chances that you felt like Clemson let slip away, it feels like a fair result, doesn't it?
It certainly does. They're going to put 5 seconds back on the clock here. Virginia Tech, they line up all across the midfield stripe.
I think that was just a matter of where they didn't wait for the whistle.
I believe that's correct. So they're going to have to do it again. Again, 5 seconds. That's a lot of time to go that distance.
Yeah, you really just need to not commit a foul, and you need to win the initial header here once they pump it long. You've got to win this header.
And that's it. Clemson able to get all 3 points. A stunned Hokie.